Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2019. This is Stage Racer episode number 52. We're still at La Vuelta. It's stage 10 of 21, and this stage is our time trial. 33.8 kilometers, currently just inside the top 10. This is a good opportunity for me to move up the order a bit, and after having just leveled up, we're even stronger. Just about time for me to go. Right now, the top time is Ryan Mullen. Mullen is one of the top 3 favorites for the stage. In addition, you have Tom Dumoulin and myself. Team objective, realistic, top 3. So we set off on the course, 33 kilometers yet to go, and we begin with the first of 2 climbs on the day. Nothing severe about them, just some hills. I will go into a bit of a deficit here. We will attack this pretty hard at a 76 initially. I'm looking at an 82 time trial today, a 79 resistance. I should be able to put in a pretty good time with this +1 race day condition today. Certainly can compete for the stage. See, that deficit's pretty big right now, but I should be off to a really strong time here initially. I think that's my advantage over Mullen especially, and Dumoulin slightly, is having that climbing ability through that section and the climb to come later. We're going to back off for now. There is a little bit of descending that's going to help us recover the extra energy that we have spent while we're out here on the route. That's at the end. 48 minutes, 24 seconds is the target time. Nielsen Palace second best right now. I know that I could beat him. At the finish, the first sector, things are a lot closer. We haven't seen Dumoulin's time. Right now it's Chris Froome on top. And Mullen only 11th fastest. You can see he definitely lost time through that first climbing section compared to others. It's the flat, it's the second, third sectors. And there you go. I have the best time right now. There's 8 more riders after me as I am 9th place overall. So we'll see those times come in and how I compare with those guys. But as we continue, I think I'm doing pretty good with the 75 here. The downhill section will make up for that extra that I spent. I seem to be holding serve when it comes to the expenditure and distance yet to cover. So 2 downhills and 1 uphill should recover that extra. Here we go into that first downhill. We'll see if I am back to kind of even when we get down to this valley floor. That will be the key on how we're doing towards the end. And yes, we are. Okay, we're kind of right back where we need to be. In terms of time, Gegenhardt has come in there. Bennett has come in there. There's Soler. Mullen all the way down to 16th. There's Pogacar, Lopez. I'm already catching up to whoever the 10th place rider is. We're going to go back to a 76 for a little bit. I want to attack the second half of this climb. Let's go 77. We're nearly to the top. Back to a 76, and when we kind of get back in the saddle, we'll go back to a 75 again. About to go over the top, second checkpoint. Okay, so Dumoulin 6 seconds faster at the first check, and he is very much higher up the order. I think we're just about through everyone now. So now, second check, just 1 second faster than Froome. So Froome pulled back 14 seconds on me, but this is that important part because you do need energy at the end. Now it's mostly flat, but you can see there is a little uphill section, and even the finish itself is a little bit uphill. A lot of guys are going to lose energy and lose a ton of time in that final last little bit. See, I'm not quite level, so we're going to back off a little more. 74 now. I think I went just a hair strong. So Mullen had gained time definitely by the second sector. He's at 7th here instead of 16th. But with that comparison, you can see he was 18th, 52 seconds down. And then he is a minute 1. So he actually did still lose time with that second climb. As we approach the end, I need to get myself ready here. We are still a little over. Here's that little uphill section. I do still have the energy left for it, but only just. It's not empty yet. We have not emptied the tank, but we are very, very close to it. There. I think tank just emptied just before the finish. It did. So I had about 500 meters left to go. I am ahead of Froome by 2 seconds, and that is very much a good time because we're now a minute ahead of everybody else. We're a minute ahead of Mullen, who was the favorite for this stage, but I think Dumoulin's going to be tough to beat. Yeah, he's 23 seconds clear of me. I was 2 seconds clear of Froome. I held exactly 2 seconds, so you would think on rate I'm going to be about 23 seconds behind Dumoulin in second place, most likely. Soler will be the next one. He is in the top 10 at each of the first 2 checkpoints. Next one across the line, he is 6th overall. There we go. 5th, exactly 1 minute behind, 1 second ahead of Mullen. 4 left to go. Gegenhardt putting in really good times. He was 4th. He stays 4th, 24 seconds behind. I'm still on top with just 4 riders left to cross the line. Martinez is a minute and a half, 15th, so not putting in a great time here, even though he's a 75 time trial. 15th, he stays 15th, minute 45. Landa is next. Not a good time trialist at all. Well down the order, 2:22. He's coming in last 500 meters here. And then just 2 riders after him. That would guarantee a top 3. But I do think that Dumoulin will probably take the stage. Here comes Dumoulin, first at each checkpoint. And he does by 27 seconds, as expected. Whoever the final rider was came in just after him. So he actually passed him on his way. So Dumoulin takes the stage. I do claim second place, though. 27 seconds behind. That's going to be really good for my position. I think it's Bennert, Conrad Bennert, because there you go, 44 seconds down. Maybe not. But it's Barrier. Barrier lost a ton of time. So Dumoulin moves into the race lead. I move up 1 spot, but that's because those time gaps were quite large indeed. So it was good. But it wasn't as good as it could be just because the time gaps were so big. And that stupid 3.5 minutes that I lost. We'll look into it here again in a moment. But I lost so much time. So much time on that stupid little hill stage that I put too much faith in my team. And that was completely my fault for doing that. But I really figured that weak double climb that they'd get through it. I didn't think I had 100% faith that I would lose every single one of those riders, but I also had 100% faith that they would get me through 1.5 climbs before losing those riders. They didn't even make it through the first climb, and that is my fault for having faith in them at all. We are still 4th in the young riders classification, just really not where we could or should be. But of course the team classification really goes to show just how weak my supporting cast is. Right, if we play the what if game, second on the stage is excellent, though stage wins obviously mean more. If we play the what if game, shave 3.5 minutes off, we're 3 minutes down in 3rd place. That's a massive difference from where we're at. Massive difference. Now, Soler, very much in range. Bennert, very much in range. But then it's starting to get tough with these guys at the front. Now, this Barrier guy, what the F is going on with him? How is he doing what he's doing? How is he that good already when he is literally brand new on the scene? I'm really surprised. I mean, if you've played this game for a number of years, you're used to seeing yourself, especially if you do pro cyclist mode. See yourself develop, emerge very early. You know, there's nothing wrong with being 21, 22 years old in this game and yourself already competing at Grand Tours. And I'm fully used to seeing, as you go through Pro Continental, seeing that one rider or two riders that are regens that are pretty good. But I've never seen one at Grand Tours that's younger than you, that's already a stronger climber than you. Never seen that before. I'm still very much surprised by that. They want a top 3 overall, so we're still getting a bad evaluation there, but we do get a good evaluation on the stage. It's only worth 13 points, though. That's a little surprising that that's all we managed to acquire, but okay, fine. Second on the stage is only worth 13, especially when I'm leading the KOM while we're at it. I mean, I know that the GC is not where they want it, but you'd think it would have been worth a few more points than that. Anyway, stage 11. It's a punchy stage. I don't think we're going to see time gaps on this stage, but that last little climb between the two climbs previous will certainly thin the field out a lot. I might be riding solo by the end, but I think most teams will still have a couple teammates around them. But we'll pick things up right before the Category 2 climb. I doubt we'll see any action prior to that point. I've unfortunately drawn a -2 race day condition today, but fortunately, with that 100% fitness to kind of counter it, we're just looking at a -1 resistance, -2 downhill, and a -1 flat. Nothing else really affected, though stamina also -1. We go ahead and hit that penultimate categorized climb, the biggest climb of the day. It's Category 2. I do have my full team, or at least had it a moment ago. But we are fading pretty quickly. The peloton was still mostly together. There was only about 5 or 6 riders off the back in all. Now, we've quickly diminished our numbers down to 86. We have 2K to go to the top. The breakaway, 22, 23 riders strong. Their lead was down to 2 minutes, and I think it's shrinking further. No, actually, it's not. It's pulled out a little bit with the attack going for the points. There is Ryan Mullen actually attacking for that. So there you go. 700 meters now to the top. There's no points left for me to grab. There's 11 riders right in front of me that we are not quite making contact with, plus guys out beyond that. So no KOM points for me on this climb. The next climb could be. I didn't get over it that easy, but I did get over it, and I've had a fall. I have had a fall just over the top. A lot of riders involved, and let's hope we are okay and can get back into the field here quickly. We are now dropped. I've got Banaszek, I've got Osorio with me, and had Osorio. He went right on by. He was not in this one. We need to push the tempo here, but also recover. I do have Banaszek at least to lead us out, but he needs to push with everything he has got on this descent before that next climb to get us back up there. Meanwhile, I need to also recover. So we have 20 riders off the back. We are 30 seconds behind Ben Hermans. Rondags has fallen now. Hopefully we don't have another crash here on this wet descent. That is the obvious reason for the problem that we've just experienced. And we are definitely well behind at the moment. Osorio, set you to 99 as well. And Hermans is now here. And he is out front giving it his all. So 3 guys going 99, pulling back. There's the peloton ahead. We are 2 minutes behind the peloton. We got up just after the peloton left, but by the time we were able to get back up to speed, that gap was quite large. Hermans, Osorio, Banaszek, they're going to do everything they can to pull me back. Luckily, I at least still had teammates here. Otherwise, we truly would be screwed. We're down to a minute 20 of that 2-minute gap. And meanwhile, I am still fairly fresh. And there is the peloton. Are we going to make it? Do we pull it back in? It looks like we might. But we're about to hit that climb, so I'm going to have to move. We are back in the peloton. Oh my goodness, we did it. Not 99. Don't go crazy here. We need to make sure we do not get dropped on this climb, and the best way to do that is we need to move up the order a bit, and then we'll recover on the descent. So I've got to be really careful here. You can already see all 3 of those teammates have lost contact with the peloton already. I don't need to attack up. I just need to make sure I get into kind of the heart of the group, which I'm slowly making my way up there, and we are 3K from the top, so I need to make sure I also have enough energy to get over the top. Peloton shrinking pretty quick. Those 2 riders, their gap is pretty small, and 2K to go. I think I need to back off here in just a moment. Let's do that now. 44 riders left, and I've made it. I made it back into the peloton. Oh, thank you, team. You might have really let me down recently, but this time they stepped up in a big way to help pull me back after that crash. Got myself some water. Come on, don't be too far back. That arm up. Arm up. You're already at the back end of the group. Put that arm up. There you go. Alex Dowsett has withdrawn from the race. Pace is pretty hot. 45 in the peloton, just 1 rider left away. And they've got a little bit of a gap, but it's really hard to ride solo with a chase group this large. And this is right about the size that I expected for the group at the end. Enough where you have all of your team leaders, and then every team has 1 or 2 riders left. Except for me. I might not be the only one riding solo here, but this is exactly what I expected. My teammates wasted, which of course this time they were wasted for a good reason. They actually did something useful. Thank you, team. Again, thank you. Thank you, Banaszek, Osorio, Hermans. Well done. But it still turned out exactly how I expected. Myself riding solo in a fairly sizable final group that, yeah, it's team leaders and then a couple of riders left. Hills coming up. I have fully recovered. Things could go, we're going to get smaller in that final climb. We're definitely going to get smaller in that final climb. We will not have all 45 going over the top. It is a bit punchy, and that does favor me a bit. I do have a good hills rating. But today, just 79, and resistance just 75, stamina just 68. None of those things have gone well. And why have I just gone to literally the back end of the group here in this last little moment? Move up, move up, move up, move up. Okay, hold position, recover that. Just a tiny bit used, and now we're in a better spot. Back up to 49 riders, so 4 riders have actually caught up to us before the climb. And I have also just about recovered. There we go. I recovered what I just used to go from the back of the peloton to the front. Still a minute 42 to that solo rider. There they are around the corner. There they were. Caruso? Is that who that was? I think that's who it was. Without having to pause and look it up or pull up the menu. Haig, Latour attacking. Yeah, they check up. But here we go. Here is that climb. It's pretty short. We have just 7K to go to the end of the stage. So, Haig, Latour, I'll go with you guys. You guys want to attack? Let's attack. And we have split. 7 riders chasing the 1. Brilliant. Oh, I love it. This is just about perfect here. Alright. We're going to put in work as a group. And Latour keeps attacking. We got Dumoulin, Bennett, Haig, Gegenhardt, Sosa here. And it's 3.7 to go. Let you guys do the chasing. It's your turn. It's your turn. We are just 6 riders. Let's go acrobatic on the descent. And we'll charge in. 1K to go. 1K to go. And sprint. 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 Alright, our breakaway man is going to take second. Latour takes the win. Caruso takes third, and I don't know why they did what they did there, but okay. Sosa takes third. Dumoulin, Gegenhardt, Amador, Bennett, Youngles. I take 9th out of that, and Haig 10th. There is a peloton just behind us, so I don't think they'll give us any sort of time gap, but there is a bit of a gap to that next group. That's still going to be some time on a contender or two, possibly. Top teammate was Banaszek in 64th. Those 3 guys all inside the top 100, but well back from where we were. But again, they did their job, and they brought us back. Not only no time lost, but possibly time gained on the stage.
We've selected the following highlights for you.
Let's see what they give. I'm guessing the top 2 have separate time. Oh, they don't even give them separate time. Oh, but there is time after 27th. Okay, so 55 seconds. So Pollitt, Pogacar, Carapaz lose time. Bernal loses time. Okay, and then this group losing a minute 40. So how does that affect the general? Probably not much. Yeah, Geraint Thomas. No, he was just behind us. Yeah, guys that were not team leaders lost time, but I think all of the top team leaders preserved their gaps. So we are second in points, still leading the KOM, and 4th in the under 25s. And as a team, just about an hour behind now. They wanted me to win the stage. They wanted to be in a break. They didn't even give me credit at the end there. When we actually did have a break for a few kilometers, it still wouldn't have changed the evaluation. But you figured we were away from the peloton in a group of 7. Yes, there was one rider further in front of us, but that's not how breakaway is recorded. If you're away from the peloton. Why? Because the race leader was with us and it was just 7 of us leaving everyone behind. We gained 3 points on the stage. That's the KOM lead. And at stage 12, nothing doing until the end, but 3 climbs back to back to back in the final 34 kilometers. So things will heat up at the end. Go ahead and prepare ourselves for that. Herman's not feeling well after riding out in the rain for 5 hours yesterday. 45 kilometers to go here on stage 12 of 21. And this is the type of stage that normally, at least in career mode, I'd have my team at the front, in a train, controlling the tempo, dropping riders off the back until I am then solo to try to attack and go for the stage. But you've seen my team. You've seen how they do with minor hills. They don't do well. They do not do well. So I'm going to kind of take this one as if I'm already solo, and I'll get whatever protection my team can give me and ride for myself, because that's where they keep leaving me, and I'm going to act like they're really not around. So whatever protection they can give me, like Osorio was a moment ago, and Hermans will now be doing. I'll take it. 3 climbs, very steep, very short. First one, 1.6K, 12.4% average gradient, 300 meters of climbing in just 1.5 kilometers. 8 riders left off the front. They don't have a huge gap, and right now, pace isn't that bad in the peloton, though it's certainly up there. There is fatigue growing quickly. We're at 133, but I bet you this number is going to shrink pretty rapidly. Before the top of this climb, we'll lose probably the first 20 or so, but the next climb, I would imagine we're going to lose the bulk of the peloton, maybe half of it. When I get over the top, I will get a chance to recover a little bit here, though I will not be at 100% for the next one. It's a very short descent. Hopefully we do not see another crash today, as a crash at this point would definitely leave. And there you go. There's a bunch of riders. Nielsen Paulus, one of them. He is one of the contenders. Hugh Carthy, another one. And we actually see a split in the peloton. Just 44 riders at the moment in contact. I think the crash was the cause of that and not a natural split. Osorio, Herman's still here. Osorio working at the front. Where is Hermans, though? He is well behind. I do like that Osorio is pulling at the front, though. So I'll let him continue to do that. Some riders regaining contact at the back, but that's because we're stretching out up the climb. And the group behind stretching out as well. And you can see that the contact not actually there, but there's 71 riders quite close.
He's given up.
Bookman out of the race. Manuel Bookman, so there's a potential contender. I don't know what place he was in. I know he wasn't at the top of the standings. Probably somewhere in the top 20, I would imagine. Herman's still there, but working, not helping. He is controlling the tempo right now, so my teammates think that I've got a real shot for this stage, which I would say that I've got a shot. I wouldn't say I'm a favorite. 44 in the peloton now. 7 left off the front. There's an acceleration by Capecchi. I think that's more to he's going to take over the duties now that Hermans is done. Osorio, they're both still in the group. They haven't been dropped, even though they're out of energy. Now it's Bahrain Merida. Is there any points to be had? No, there's no points to be had. Climb's done, long since. Breakaway might be claiming the victory today. We're down to 35 in the peloton. Osorio and Hermans among those that are dropped, about 10. And we still have a fair few riders out in front with a pretty hefty gap. It's 2:16 to the front of the field right now, but those guys are spread out. The breakaway has blown up, make it a little easier to catch them, but one short steep climb won't necessarily be enough to bring them back in. Depends on how hard the work rate is within the peloton. This descent is a lot more gradual, a lot longer, and you can see the recovery is much better this time around. We're not quite fully recovered, and I would imagine half this group is going to be below 50% on their recovery. But still, it sets us up for a pretty hefty final climb here. Capecchi again putting the tempo into this peloton. That's going to help pull the time back, and it does. We are now within 2 minutes of the front. That little uphill section really doing some damage on the breakaway and in my group. I think I got over it just fine, but I think that's going to reset quite a few riders to being fairly tired. 10K banner, 1 climb left to go, and it's a steep descent to the end, meaning you actually want to, and here we're seeing Caruso trying to attack. We're going to set ourselves up. There's the climb. 8.9K. I'm going to use my gel. Okay, I want to open a little gap, just a little, and then I didn't actually open the gap, but that's okay. We'll try again right here. Can they cover it? 1.3K to go to the top. I did get a little gap. I did get a little gap there, so 800 meters. I'm not going to have red bar left, so it's going to slow me down a little bit. But we have 3 chasing 3. Now it's 6 of us here together. I'm going to move to the front. Final few hundred meters. I'll get the points at the top for this Category 3 climb. Not that I'm going for that anymore. I'm off the front. I am riding solo right now, 16 seconds ahead. Can we take this stage? We're going to go into the acrobatic descent here. Hopefully I don't crash, because that is absolutely a possibility. It's in the rain. It's downhill. 17 seconds clear. I could crash here. This could cost us the race or pull back some time. It's only 20 seconds though. The main thing is the stage. 2K to go to the finish. This is very technical, and we are using that arrow tuck on the descent. 100 meters. 100 meters to the finish. 28 seconds. We pulled out a little bit of time here to the finish, and that's a stage victory. We're going to get time bonus for the win, and 23 seconds to Michael Matthews. There's Berrier doing it again. Alaphilippe 4th, Latour, to Moulin, Landa, Van Aert, Bennett, and Jack Haig. But there's the stage victory. Is that our second here of the tour? We've had a couple other top 3s, a couple other podiums. But we pull back a little time. That should move me up at least 1 spot into 7th now. Both lucky not to crash. Especially the way this game's set up. In real life, you crash in the final 3 kilometers. You get up and you get back in. You get same time as group. If you're riding solo, I'd imagine they give you the time of the group behind you. But you do that here, you get whatever time you cross line. That mechanic is not in this game, and I have definitely had that happen, crashing in the last couple kilometers. So we get a 23-second victory, and then 29 riders in that chase group. So what does that do for us overall? Dumoulin still leading the race, Perrier second, Martinez, Landa, Gegenhardt, Bennett. I have gone around Marc Soler into 7th now, so we've moved up 2 positions within this episode. Now we're just 6 minutes and 4 seconds behind. And if we play the what if game again, we'd be at 2.5 minutes down on the lead, still in 3rd place and opening a gap behind us. We still very much could get up to 3rd before the end, but our position is definitely not ideal. We're now also just 6 points behind Dumoulin in the points classification. I also pick up 3 points in the KOM. Don't think I'm targeting that anymore though. I'm not opposed to picking up points, but I think we are definitely looking at the GC right now and trying to improve our position as the race goes on. There's a lot of climbing yet to do, and we could certainly improve that position. Back-to-back -2 race day conditions not helping us. Despite that, we still get a stage victory. At this point in time, what that does for us in the standings, it's definitely going to be some points involved. Wow, look at that. CCC just... No, not even hanging on at the moment. Continental Pro for next year if they can't get some people signed. 14th in the World Tour rankings. 8th in the Super Prestige. Looking good, looking good. In terms of victories, that was our 12th of the season. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.